Hello, and welcome back to another KCC video. I'm Rob, and today we'll be jumping into some Am I the Butthole? And now introducing the Butthole Scale. After each story, I'll be giving it a rating out of 5 buttholes. Let's see if you guys agree. Comment down below. Okay, let's get started. Our first one comes to us from SirKey2203. Am I the butthole for not wanting my maid of honor's boyfriend at my wedding? Myself and my maid of honor have been best friends for around 6 years. She got into a relationship with her boyfriend about 3 years ago. He doesn't like me because every time they argue, she comes to me and she stays with me and my fiance. Around 3 years ago, I had a party for my birthday. My best friend had just gotten with her boyfriend 10 days previous and insisted that I invite him. I told her she could bring him. When they came, they both sat in the corner for the entire night and didn't speak to anyone else, didn't dance, and didn't even wish me a happy birthday. 2 years ago, my best friend found out she was pregnant, and he didn't want anything to do with it. He told her he was leaving if she carried on with the pregnancy. So I stepped up and helped her. I went to every doctor's appointment, paid for all her pregnancy vitamins, and bought her new clothes to fit her changing body. Through the stress of everything with her boyfriend, she miscarried, and she had to be rushed to the hospital. I was by her side through everything, stayed at the hospital with her, and bought everything she needed. When she woke from surgery, she thanked me for everything I'd done, and her boyfriend got angry. He said that I didn't do anything for her, and that I was a crap friend. I let it go because I thought he was just angry and upset about everything that had happened. But even now, he still tries to stop her from seeing me, and whenever she is with me, he is constantly messaging her, so we can't spend any time together, just us. We have spoken about his dislike for me, and she said that she wished things were different, but he is stuck in his opinion of me, and there's nothing I can do to change it. I have expressed to my maid of honor that I don't want her boyfriend at my wedding, because I feel like something would happen to ruin my day, especially after seeing how they reacted on my birthday. Why would I want someone who doesn't like me to be there on my most special day? She doesn't understand why I don't want him there and has told me she's not coming to my wedding unless he's invited. Am I the butthole? Okay, OP, I'm gonna give you a 1 out of 5 on the butthole scale. The reason being, I don't think anyone should have to worry about being disrespected on their special day. However, I gave you a 1 because I don't think you're seeing that there might be a very toxic relationship between your maid of honor and their boyfriend. It seems to me like her boyfriend's trying to cut her off from the people she loves, and that is a definite red flag for a toxic relationship. Please have a talk with your maid of honor and make sure she's doing okay. Maybe help her get out of that if you can. Alright, our next one today comes to us from Rainbow Backroads. Am I the butthole for getting pissed when someone kept pointing out my jacket's flaws? I'm 18 female. I have one jacket. Leather jacket I've had for 5+ years. It's effed. It's held together with safety pins, staples, and pure spite. It's torn, both outside pockets are ripped, and my inside pocket has a hole that I keep losing money in. To be fair, I didn't actually have a jacket before this, lacking parents, grew up in foster care. I love it. I also can't afford a new one, so this will do until it can't. I do not, however, like when people point out the issues. One of my classmates kept asking why I don't get a new one when the sleeve is close to falling off and there's holes everywhere. This friend has a dad who works for a major airline and managed to keep his job and a GP for a mother. She doesn't really get not being able to afford something. Example of this is I said I don't qualify for financial aid for college since I can't declare myself an independent and I don't have parents to list a parent's income. And she just said to take it out of your savings, as if I have any. I told her to stop a few times, and she just kept saying that I should get a new one. She said the same about other things, especially when she came over to my place. But the jacket one annoyed me since this is the most obvious of the problems. After a while, I said, if you really want me to get a new jacket, you effing pay for it or shut your rich mouth and drop the subject. She was upset, called me a butthole, and said I shouldn't have snapped at her. I don't think I'm a butthole here, but I may as well get a judgment. Am I the butthole? Alright OP, I'm gonna give you 0 out of 5 on the butthole scale, because if she didn't want to get snapped at, then she needs to learn not to poke the bear. People have boundaries, she didn't respect them, and she faced the consequences. On another note, OP, reach out if you need a new jacket. I'm sure me and some of my viewers can help. do me a quick favor, have a look down below the video. If that subscribe button's still red, it means you're not actually subscribed to the KCC channel. Please hit that subscribe button for more daily Reddit stories. Alright, our next one comes to us from Throwaway0909876554. Am I the butthole for kicking my mom out? My mother and I never really got along. I'm definitely her least favorite kid. She never wanted a second child, but she doesn't believe in abortion, so she doesn't go above and beyond for me. My brother and I have an okay relationship, but he has a perfect life and a nice family, so I just kind of stay away because I'm jealous. A couple months ago, I went hiking and a rock fell from the side of the hill and hit me in the face. I had a broken eye socket, a broken nose, and a broken arm. They reset my nose, but I was never able to breathe correctly, so I ended up having a surgery to fix it last week. I asked if my mother would be willing to drive me to the surgery center and stay with me for the surgery day because all my friends couldn't. It was going okay until I finally got home and I just wanted to rest. She just kept lecturing me about little things. Then she started crying because my brother's dog died. I don't know why, maybe it was the painkillers, but I told her she's never cried or felt bad when something happens to me and that I think it's better if she just went home. She told me I was ungrateful and she was going to go where she was wanted. I guess she went to my brother's house because his wife messaged me about how mom came over so upset because I kicked her out and how I really should apologize because she's just trying to help and I don't let her help me. I feel bad because I think the painkillers made me overreact because I already know she doesn't do things for me like she does for other people, but I also don't feel bad because even though I have to do everything by myself, I'm actually able to relax. My friends keep telling me to not worry about it and to focus on feeling better. Am I the butthole? The comment section on this one is not the butthole, not the butthole, not the butthole, over and over and over again. However, OP, I'm gonna give you a 2 out of 5 on the butthole scale. Okay, sure, your mother probably shouldn't have gone on about stuff with your brother while you were in that situation, but from the way you type this out, it seems to me like you might whine quite a bit. Little bit of poor me syndrome. You're old enough that you have your own place, so maybe it's time you just cut mom and brother out of the situation and get on with things yourself. Our next one comes to us from No Soda Throwaway. Am I the butthole for refusing to buy my girlfriend any more diet soda because she won't get a job? I, 26 male, have been with my girlfriend, 27 female, for over 3 years, and we've been living together for almost 2 years of that time. Not long after she left her job, this was before COVID, so it had nothing to do with that, she just couldn't deal with her boss anymore. I supported her leaving the job because her boss really was mistreating her. I do okay financially, but I'm not making a ton of money in my career yet, but I thought she'd hit the pavement right away and start looking for something else. Well, that didn't happen. For the first few days, she just hung around the apartment. After those few days, I asked her if she was going to start looking for something else. She answered, "Really? I just quit my job. Can you give me a week or two to catch my breath?" After that, whenever I asked, she began to cite anxiety and depression as the reason she couldn't look for or take a job. While I've tried to be supportive and understanding, it's been hard as we've more or less lived paycheck to paycheck. While I've often felt anxious and depressed myself, but having had no choice but to go to work. Once COVID hit, she tried to get relief but was denied because she'd already been out of work too long and her unemployment had nothing to do with the pandemic. She then began to use COVID as an excuse why she couldn't work. This brings us to a few days ago. I went to do some grocery shopping and my girlfriend asked me to pick up a case of Diet Dr. Pepper for her. She is addicted to the stuff. To her credit, she doesn't drink or smoke or eat much junk food at all. Diet Dr. Pepper is basically her only vice, but she'll easily drink 6 to 7 cans of it in a day. Anyway, I refused to buy it for her. I told her on the way out the door, "Nope, that's a luxury item. I'm not paying for that." Long story short, when I got home without the Diet Dr. Pepper, we got into a huge argument. She accused me of financially controlling her. I told her that from now on, I would only provide for her completely basic needs, but that if she wanted any treats beyond that, she'd need to get a job and pay for them herself. Am I the butthole? Well, OP, I'm gonna give you a 0 out of 5 on the butthole scale. She's taking advantage of you. You're paying for a grown woman to sit on her butt all day. She's financially abusing you by taking your kindness for granted for 2 years now. OP, be careful. The next logical step for her here is to use the pregnancy thing so she can continue to have a free ride. If there was ever a time to cut and run, I think this is it. Alright, our next one today comes to us from Soft Blush. Am I the butthole for wanting to give my daughter an Irish name that my whole family hates? Hi all, my partner and I want to try for a baby, and we have 2 concrete names picked out. We decided not to tell anyone the names until our baby was born and already had it on the birth certificate, because what can they say at that point? But my mom found my list of girls' names and spread our top choice around to the whole family, who hates it. My partner is Irish and we both love the name Saoirse. There's a famous actress with the same name, so we didn't think it would be a huge deal. My mom has flat out told me if I have a daughter, she won't call her by her given name and will instead call her Sushi. My entire family jumped on board with this and has been relentlessly harassing me about the name. Honestly, I know I shouldn't stress too much as there's a 50-50 chance I'll have a baby boy anyway, but the discourse around the name has really started to aggravate me, and the idea that my kid is going to be bullied by my whole family because she has an Irish name is getting under my skin. The last time she asked me if I'd gotten a positive pregnancy test, I said no. And she goes, well, let's hope it's not a girl, because she's Sushi to me. I flat out told my mother I don't care for her opinion, as she has crap taste in names anyway. She asked what I meant, and I said I've always hated my own name, and I should have the ability to choose one for my child, just like she did for me. She was extremely hurt that I didn't like my name, and the general consensus is I'm a jerk for saying so. My husband's family, of course, has no issue with Saoirse. They're Irish. Am I the butthole for wanting to give a child a phonetically Irish name and for telling my mom off? Well, OP, I'm gonna give you 1 out of 5 on the butthole scale. So, in regards to your mother, if you insist on calling my daughter Sushi, I'll insist on calling you the grandma we don't see. I can understand why you're upset, but I don't think telling your mother that you've always disliked your name was the best idea. Alright, our last one today comes to us from Contumacious05. Am I the butthole for telling my 10-year-old to stop acting like a butthole? My son asked to go to an indoor water park. His dad and I aren't together, but we co-parent well and vacation as a family. We talk it over and book the trip. I even got a suite with a jetted tub, fireplace, and kitchen, so we're able to bring food instead of paying resort prices. My son invited his friend and his cousin. I planned out every detail of the trip, made sure everything would be perfect. We get there on Friday and go to the water park. My son got upset because I didn't bring his beach towel. Towels are provided. Then later, him and his friend wanted to go to the arcade. They each had a $20 limit, so they each take $5 and go to the arcade. After they blew through their $5, they wanted more. The arcade had a deal if you bought $25 worth of tokens. So I tell them they can both get the $25 deal, but when they are out, they are out. They run off and play. The next day, we get stuff out that we packed for lunch. I brought pre-made subs, and we had lots of other snacks to go with it. My son says, "Mom, why didn't you pack any mayo or ketchup?" I told him I forgot, and he's just going to have to survive. He pouts until his father leaves the resort to go to Walmart and buy condiments. I was annoyed because I just don't think that was necessary. That's not how real life works, and he should have been thankful for what he had. So later we go to the water park and he wants Dippin' Dots and he gets them. Later, he wants a virgin pina colada. His dad tells me to go buy it while they go ride a slide. So that's what I do. They come back and my son takes one sip and starts complaining I bought it too soon and it's partially melted. I told him to just be grateful, and he still whined until his dad said that he would buy him a fresh one later. Like, what? Later, we all went to dinner. It was a super expensive burger and shake joint. We sit down and everyone orders a $12 milkshake but me, because I don't like sweets enough to drink a whole one. My son orders a $22 burger off the adult menu, because he didn't want to order off the kid menu. No big deal. We planned for this. I just want him to have a good time. So the milkshakes arrive and they are super fancy. I get up to take a pic and my son refuses. After some convincing, he took the pic but refused to smile. Whatever. So I sit back down and I ask my son if I can have a sip of his milkshake. He looks at me and slides his milkshake away and says, "No, this is mine. If you wanted one, you should have ordered one." At that point, I was seeing red. I couldn't believe that after all I had done, this is how my son was acting. So I turned to him and said, "Why are you acting like a little butthole?" I started crying. He started crying, his dad flips out and said I owe him an apology and that I'm a crap parent. I told him I would not apologize because I'm not raising a little entitled butthole, because he's just going to grow up to be a big entitled butthole. Am I the butthole? Finally, OP, I give you 4 out of 5 on the butthole scale. I considered giving you a 5 out of 5, but then I realized there's still gotta be somebody out there worse than you. So your kid may be a little bit entitled, but usually that's a learned behavior. Time to maybe look in the mirror. Also, who calls their 10-year-old child a butthole to their face? There's a couple things here that need to be touched on. Kids don't have to take pictures, and they don't have to smile for them. You got your kid a treat and then you want to have some of it? It's completely okay for them not to let you. You see, OP, if you think you're entitled to those photos and you're entitled to have some of your kid's treat, I think I can see where the kid's entitlement comes from. So did you agree or disagree with my findings? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you to all 6 OPs for posting their stories. They are linked down below. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.